My son said to me just the other day, "Dad, I wish you had told me sooner. I could have avoided so much pain." I looked at him, and I saw the same fire in his eyes that I had when I was his age. It still haunts me to this day. I'm Walter, 78 years old, and I want to share with you a lesson that I learned the hard way, a lesson that I wish someone had told me when I was younger. I grew up in a small town in Ohio in the 1950s. It was a beautiful place, surrounded by cornfields and friendly people. I had a best friend, Jimmy, and we did everything together. We explored the woods, played baseball, and had sleepovers at each other's houses. But there was one thing that my parents always told me, one thing that I wish I had never listened to. They told me to always prioritize stability and security, to find a good job and settle down. They said that this was the key to happiness. I remember the summer of 1955. Jimmy and I were 17 years old, and we had just graduated from high school. We were feeling restless, feeling like we wanted to see the world. We talked about leaving town, about going to California or New York City, about making a name for ourselves. But my parents were adamant. They said that I needed to stay in town, get a job at the local factory, and marry a nice girl. They said that this was the safe thing to do, the responsible thing to do. But here is what I never told anyone. I was terrified of disappointing my parents. I was terrified of not being able to provide for myself, of not being able to make them proud. So I listened to them. I stayed in town, and I got a job at the factory. Jimmy, on the other hand, he left town, he went to California, and he started a successful business. I would see him every now and then, and he would tell me about his adventures, about the people he met, and the things he saw. As the years went by, I started to feel suffocated by my decision. I felt like I was stuck in a rut, like I was just going through the motions. I would see Jimmy, and I would feel a pang of jealousy, a pang of regret. I would wonder what my life would be like if I had taken a chance, if I had followed my dreams. But here is what I realized. It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to take a chance, to follow your heart. The hardest part was admitting to myself that I had made a mistake. It was admitting that my parents, as well-meaning as they were, had been wrong. They had been wrong to prioritize stability and security above all else. They had been wrong to tell me that this was the key to happiness. I realized that happiness comes from within. It comes from following your passions, from taking risks, and from living life to the fullest. But here is what I never told anyone. I was angry at my parents for a long time. I was angry at them for not understanding me, for not supporting me. I was angry at them for not giving me the freedom to make my own choices. But as I got older, I realized that they were just trying to protect me. They were just trying to give me the best life possible. They were operating from a place of love, even if it was misguided. The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. It was a hard-won truth that I had to learn the hard way. The truth is that you should never listen to your parents when they tell you to prioritize stability and security above all else. You should never listen to them when they tell you to play it safe, to settle down, and to give up on your dreams. The truth is that life is short, and it's unpredictable, and it's full of surprises. The truth is that you should follow your heart, you should take risks, and you should live life to the fullest. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about my son? What about the pain that he could have avoided? Well, I'll tell you. I finally told him the truth. I finally told him about my regrets, about my mistakes. I told him that I wished I had taken a chance, that I wished I had followed my dreams. And you know what he said? He said that he was proud of me. He said that he was proud of the man I had become. He said that he was going to make sure to follow his own heart, to take his own risks, and to live his own life to the fullest. So if you're still listening, if you're still with me, I want to leave you with this. Please don't make the same mistakes that I did. Please don't listen to your parents when they tell you to prioritize stability and security above all else. Take a chance, follow your heart, and live life to the fullest. And if you want to hear more stories like this, if you want to hear more about my life and my lessons, then please subscribe to my channel. I know it sounds cliché, but trust me, it's the truth. I've been on both sides of the fence, and I can tell you that the view is so much better from this side, where you're following your passion. My parents, they wanted the best for me, I'm sure of it, but their idea of the best was a 9-to-5 job, a steady paycheck, and a white picket fence. And don't get me wrong, that's a great life for some people, but it wasn't for me. I would have withered away, suffocated by the monotony of it all. But I took a chance, I rolled the dice, and I followed my heart. And you know what? It's been a wild ride, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. There have been times when I thought I'd made a huge mistake, when I wondered if I'd been foolish to give up the security of a steady job. But the thing is, those moments of doubt, they're fleeting. They're like clouds passing across the sun, blocking out the light for just a moment before moving on. And when the sun comes out again, oh man, it's like nothing else matters. The feeling of doing something you love, of creating something from scratch, of bringing your vision to life, it's like a high, a rush that never gets old. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for everyone who is listening to this. I want you to experience that feeling, to know what it's like to be truly alive. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the practicalities? What about paying the bills? What about making a living? And those are valid concerns. Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing. When you're doing something you love, you're more motivated, you're more driven, and you're more likely to succeed. You'll find a way to make it work, to make a living doing what you love. And even if you don't, even if you struggle, even if you face setbacks and failures, it's still worth it. Because the alternative is a life of quiet desperation, a life of what ifs and maybes. And I'd rather take the risk, I'd rather take the chance, than live a life that's not truly mine. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. I want to challenge you to take a step, just one step, towards your dreams. It doesn't have to be a big step, it can be a small one. Just take a step and see where it leads you. And then take another step, and another, and another. And before you know it, you'll be on your way, you'll be living the life you've always wanted. And if you need any inspiration, if you need any motivation, just come back and watch this video again. Or watch some of my other videos, where I share more stories, more lessons, and more insights from my own journey. And if you want to join the community, if you want to connect with like-minded people who are on their own journey of self-discovery and growth, then please subscribe to my channel and let's do this together. As I always say, the journey of self-discovery and growth is not a solo endeavor, it's a collective one. We're all in this together, and by subscribing to my channel, you're not just joining a community, you're becoming part of a movement. A movement that's all about embracing our true selves, with all our flaws and imperfections, and using those very same imperfections as the catalyst for growth and transformation. I remember when I first started on my own journey of self-discovery, I felt so alone, so lost, and so unsure of what lay ahead. But as I began to share my story, my struggles, and my insights with others, I realized that I wasn't alone at all. There were countless others out there who were going through similar struggles, similar doubts, and similar fears. And it was in that moment that I knew I had to create a space where people could come together, share their stories, and support one another on their own journeys of self-discovery. That's why I'm so passionate about creating content that's not just informative, but also transformative. Content that doesn't just inspire, but also empowers. Content that reminds you that you're not alone, that you're part of something much bigger than yourself, and that you have the power to create the life you've always wanted. Now, I know that the journey of self-discovery and growth is not always easy. There will be times when you'll feel like giving up, when you'll feel like you're not making progress, and when you'll feel like you're all alone in the dark. But I want you to know that those moments are temporary, and that the struggles you're facing are not unique to you. We all face struggles, we all face doubts, and we all face fears. But it's how we respond to those struggles, doubts, and fears that really matters. You see, when we're faced with adversity, we have two choices. We can let it break us, or we can use it as an opportunity to grow. We can let our struggles define us, or we can use them as a catalyst for transformation. We can let our doubts and fears hold us back, or we can use them as a reminder of our own strength and resilience. I want to leave you with a story today. A story that I hope will inspire you, motivate you, and remind you of your own power. It's a story about a young woman who had been struggling with anxiety and depression for years. She felt lost, alone, and unsure of how to escape the darkness that had been following her for so long. But one day, she made a decision to take control of her life, to seek help, and to start her journey of self-discovery. It wasn't easy, and there were many times when she felt like giving up. But she didn't. She kept pushing forward, even when it felt like the whole world was against her. And slowly but surely, she started to heal. She started to find her voice, her passion, and her purpose. And she started to live the life she had always wanted, a life that was authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. That young woman is now a thriving entrepreneur, a passionate advocate for mental health, and a beacon of hope for countless others who are still struggling. And I want you to know that you can be that person too. You can be the one who rises above adversity, who finds your voice, and who lives the life you've always wanted. All it takes is courage, resilience, and a willingness to take the first step. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. A challenge to take that first step, to seek help, to start your journey of self-discovery, and to never look back. You are capable of achieving greatness. You are worthy of living an extraordinary life. And you are strong enough to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. Remember, you are not alone. You are part of a community, and you are surrounded by people who believe in you, who support you, and who want to see you succeed.